how to play the board game Monopoly, telling it how to convert numbers from one base to another. And the idea of, okay, there's these simple instructions, but if you put them together, then you can synthesize something quite complex. It's a fascinating kind of mathematical thing. How can you make it fast? How can you make it small? And I went through several phases of doing more complex programs where people who were great programmers would look at my work, give me feedback on it, and you get so you can be quite a good programmer. And it was kind of such an intense activity between the age of 13 and 17 that we learned a lot. Eventually, one of the programs we took on was the idea of the scheduling of our school. When should the classes meet? Who should be in which section? So you have all these requests for people who want different classes and keeping them small and not having the teachers teach too many classes in a row. Very complex kind of software problem. First asked me to do it when I was 15. I said that I didn't know how, and they asked some adults to do it, and that didn't work. And then about a year later, I'd figured out how to do it. And so my friends and I actually did the software that did all this high school scheduling. It had some fantastic benefits to us. We got paid for doing it. It was exactly the kind of complex problem that developed my skills very well. And we got some degree of control over who was in our classes, and so it combined the best of everything. Initially, when that teletype showed up, there were probably 20 kids who sort of two of them were 2 years older than I was, and one was my same age. Now, in a high school, people are 2 years ahead of you. They don't socialize with the young kids all that much. So the idea that we had this group of four of us, it's kind of unusual. We called it the Lakeside Programming Group. And one of the companies we'd been doing corrupt, the one in Seattle. And so we went to one in Portland, Oregon, came there, and they were wonderful to us. They weren't a well-run business, so they went bankrupt. So this company down in Portland, Oregon said, hey, we're not just going to give you computer time. You have to do something. So we agreed to write this payroll program. And a payroll program is surprisingly complicated. There's all these taxes and reports and things at the state level and federal level. Anyway, they said, well, if you could write one of those, we'd at least give you free computer time. And so I negotiated that deal. And the two older members, Paul Allen and Rick, said, well, there's not enough work to go around, so we're going to take charge of this. And I said, okay, I'm not that interested, because I had in mind how I wanted to do the payroll program. And so they messed around for about 3 months, didn't get much done, and then said, well, you join back up. And I said, okay, but if so, I'm in charge of this, and it's going to kind of set a precedent for